Hey, AfterBuzzers, welcome. We are back for episode 2, season 1 of Camping. We are going to be discussing going to town. We have a special guest today. I'm not going to tell you who, because I'll do that in a few seconds. We're going to break down the episode for you, have some predictions on what's happening next, maybe get into a little bit of news and gossip. So stick around.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Sweet cherry pie.
Doing Jandis proud right now.
Yeah.
The theme song to our girl Jandis. Yes. Welcome back, guys. We are ready to talk about episode 2 and jump in. Pretty stoked about my panel tonight. Got some new friends with me that I convinced to hang out. So Jeff is going to be with us for the season. Jeff, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Guys, I'm Jeff Graham. I'm so excited. I've been an Emmy Maestri fan for like 2 years because I've been a fan of the SNL After Show. So it's funny. I feel like we're old friends, but this is really our first time hosting together. So I'm super excited.
Sweet. You're like number one fan stalker.
Yes,
right here.
I know. Amy Stalker's on the panel, and I'm happy to be here.
And I'm happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then I don't know if you would be watching this episode if you didn't watch the episode itself of Camping, but you would recognize this beautiful face here. We have Dr. Chang in the house. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Kaitlyn.
Hi guys, I'm Kaitlyn Tanimoto, and I was Dr. Chang in this episode.
Woo,
Super
woo.
fun.
It's super funny. I gotta say, we're gonna get into
Thank
it,
you.
but there was like 3 or 4 very laugh out loud moments in this episode, and I would say you have a firm hold on one of them.
Ooh, thank you. Listen,
welcome.
I'm just trying to be funny.
Yes, you did. I annoyed my whole office laughing at you.
Oh,
today,
thank you. Yeah,
You're welcome, coworkers.
I was like, Jennifer Garner's so beautiful. I'll make her laugh.
Well, you did a good job then, because I mean, as if math dictates anything, you got a quarter of the laughs tonight.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Did you guys see how fast I was with that?
Very good.
One out of four. 1 out of 4.
Yes, 1 out of 4. So what were some overall thoughts on the episode itself tonight or last night?
Ooh, I mean, just the thing that sticks out in my mind is that thrift store.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about it, so yeah, that's burned into my my memory right now, and I'm thinking about it.
I think most people.
I haven't stopped thinking about it, whether that's good or bad.
That was funny. That it's just so flimsy that the whole dressing room just fell apart like a box.
Well, I loved the idea that they thought they were at all discreet before that moment happened.
Yeah.
It was a sheet of paper that was covering them up.
pretty much.
I thought this was a really good episode. As I would have expected with the Jenny Connor, Lena Dunham joint, they're starting to include some of that serious stuff that I'm kind of here for. That, you know, that deeper, those deeper moments that I really appreciate about this kind of HBO tone.
Yeah.
We had a great, like, hospital bed moment with Jennifer Garner's character and her son. And there was one more that it's interesting that the way the show kind of explored microaggressions and race in this episode too. So I'm here for the comedy, but I'm especially excited about some of those grounded character moments that I think we're going to continue to get.
Yeah, totally agreed, guys. I think they did a really good job this episode of getting to see kind of everyone on more of a level playing field. I like that they took Jennifer Garner out of the group for a little while. We got to kind of see some other storylines, some other characters shine a bit, get to know everyone a little bit more. So
Yeah.
I was down for it.
She like really got in it with her son. She was like giving him the real talk.
Yeah.
Like, life is hard.
Yeah.
I'm not doing great, kid. And that kid's like, oh, what, mom?
Kid's awesome.
He's Orvis.
So, yeah, Orvis.
The names
so
on this
mature.
show.
I know, yeah, they really went for it with the names.
Yeah.
I do love Catherine McSorley Jodell. I feel like that's like the most Jennifer Garner's character name ever.
Yeah.
It's really perfect.
Hyphenated, both,
Yes.
and she's like, I'm not giving up that last name.
And of course, said it like 10 times within the first.
Catherine McSorley Jodell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did, yeah.
Well, so
James.
so at the top of the episode, we have them starting with the flag football game, which leads to your scene, Kaitlyn, where they
Yes.
end up in the hospital because, God forbid, her son fell down.
Fell down, nothing was wrong with him. You all know moms like that. I channeled my years of teaching at charter schools for this scene. I was like, okay, just think about every mom who's just super worried about her kid for no
helicopter.
reason. Yeah, you're just like, hey, you gotta chill. You're
Yes.
gonna drive your kid crazy.
Perfect.
We
So
did it.
how was shooting that scene? I know we were talking earlier about how Jenny also directed this episode, and you were talking about how great it was getting to work with her. And
Oh man, it was just it was a really chill, very chill set. She was just very kind. Everybody was really nice, introducing themselves to me. I'm like, I'm a no one. Why are you talking to me? And they're just like, oh, I'm the so-and-so, I'm so-and-so. I'm like, but I'm the doctor. And they're like, oh, nice to meet you. I was like, oh my gosh, everybody's so nice, very relaxed, not at all stressful. And then I was like, I want to work here every day. When can I come back? They're like, that's it for you. I was like, great.
Was it a single day?
Yeah, it was one long day where I was telling you guys earlier I left my phone in my trailer.
Ouch.
It was like 6 a.m. and I was like, I need coffee before they take me to set. So I'm walking around looking for coffee. I got it. And then they're like, okay, you're ready to go to set to get like your last looks or whatever. And then I just didn't ask them if I could just quickly go back to my trailer to grab my phone because I was like, I don't want to make them mad or anything. So I just went there and sat for 12 hours phoneless. So I have no photos.
so no one believed you
no one
actually
believes
did
it.
it until last night.
Until last night.
Like,
and I was like,
oh,
see,
well,
I
wow.
did do it. Yeah, because my mom was like, oh, did you take any photos when you were with Jennifer Garner or anything? I'm like, I have none. Nothing. I have nothing. But I saw her and I was like, no, you're a star. This is what a star looks like. And David Tennant, I was like,
Do you feel like they
cool.
exuded that like actor thing where they're just like in it? Because you were super in it too. Like I feel like they did a good job of pulling a very present performance out of you as well.
Yeah, it was crazy because right before they like changed some of the lines, so I was just like pooping in my pants thinking, this is not what I memorized. But then they were so kind and like generous with their time, you know, like they ran the scene with me before, like in the like waiting area and the holding area. So like we got to run. I was like, I'm running scenes with Jennifer Garner and David Tennant right now. Oh my gosh. But it really helped me because then when I got in the scene, I was like, oh, I can feel like we did this already. And I don't feel like as nervous as I was going into it.
That's awesome. You can feel it too, the timing, like the pacing of that scene. Whereas I think where a lot of those laughs came from, like your delivery on certain lines when she's asking about the full body scan, that's what killed me.
I was like, what? And they let us improvise some of it too, so I think that helped give it that feel of being in the moment. What was crazy is I didn't know that's who was going to play those characters until I showed up that day.
Oh wow.
Or maybe the night before I knew it was going to be Jennifer Garner, but I didn't know David Tennant, and then I walked in and I was like, Barty Crouch Jr.
What's your house? Speaking of Barty Crouch Jr.
Man, I'm a Ravenclaw, but
Same
I
here.
choose Gryffindor. I
Okay.
need people to know that. I'm gonna choose.
The house, the hat will give you what you want.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I
enough.
always am sorted into Ravenclaw, but I'm like, I'm choosing Gryffindor.
That's fair. Okay.
I'm sure you guys probably talked about it on set, right? Yeah, like full in depth.
He definitely was like, yeah, let's talk about Harry Potter more. And I was like, I'm okay, David. You need to get over it.
Do you feel like, so your character like had to still be sympathetic with the stressed out helicopter mom, but also like play the realism of like, girl, your kid is fine.
Yeah.
Did you have to like think about how deadpan to play it and like?
Well, that's interesting because I did work in an elementary school for a long time, so I feel like I meet a lot of moms like that, and it's that fine line of, okay, you're fine, it's gonna be okay, your kid's fine, but also you're being super annoying, you gotta chill out. And you don't wanna say that or be rude. And then on set, Jenny was actually telling me, she's like, you could be meaner. I was like, but how mean? I can't. They're like, just be, there was one take where they're like, just be as mean as you want to be, or like say whatever rude things you want to say. They obviously didn't use that because it was rude. I was like, oh, you coming in here, like, get a life, you know, just like improvising wacky things. But yeah, they were definitely like, you could be more mean. And I was like, oof, it's hard. It's hard to look at her face and be mean.
Yeah, I mean, you're just looking into the eyes of America's sweetheart. And you're just like yelling
Truly.
at her.
I was like, oh, you're so pretty. How could I be mean? Do whatever you want.
Well, I like that. It's interesting that you got that note because I remember reading early on that was something that she had to keep telling Jen Garner too. Saying like, I know you're trying to humanize this character right now. Don't humanize her. Don't smile at the end. Don't give that little glimpse of like, oh, maybe she's not that bad. Like, don't do that yet. We can't have that yet.
Oh, that's really interesting because in the first 2 episodes, I was thinking this character is insane.
Yes.
And what did she do to who was the girlfriend or of the guy?
Nina Joy.
Yes. I was like, what did she do to her where she like grabbed her in that hug and was like whispering for 5 minutes?
Yeah. I am very excited to see all of that just unravel before us.
There's a big fan and there's a lot of poop. And the poop's gonna hit the fan soon.
it's
I can't wait. It's just building.
It's just already the second episode. You're already thinking, what is gonna happen?
So for those listening, the Jenny we're talking about is Jenny Connor, who co-created the show.
Yes.
She's Lena Dunham's former producing partner, but a long-time working show creator, good friends with Judd Apatow. What was it like working with Jenny Connor? What's she like?
Oh, nice. Professional, very kind. She let me like sit with them because I was just like wandering around because I had nothing. I didn't even have a book. I didn't have anything with me. I didn't even have my purse. It was just like me and my costume. And she was like, "Come over here. You want to like watch?" It was like next to the video village. They just have like the video, so I got to like watch scenes with David Tennant and Jennifer Garner like doing their nice scenes together, and then like Bridget Everett and David Tennant doing like that scene where they're sitting and she's talking about women and stuff. She's like, women are hard to figure out. And then I was like watching it live and then watching it on the screen, and I was like, whoa,
That is awesome.
it was pretty crazy. They're fantastic actors, and you just learn so much, I think, by being on set and watching them.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, I mean, we last week were raving about this cast. I mean, absolutely incredible.
So
and I'm
funny.
so jealous that you got to also just watch that scene happen between Walt and Harry.
Yeah.
And it just because I want so many more scenes with the two of them.
Yeah.
Anytime you put two characters that far on the opposite end of the spectrum, but then give them that similar thing to talk about, like wives. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I thought it was super
funny.
interesting how like the show, typically that conversation would happen between two dudes. So I love that they used a butch lesbian to have that conversation with, because that truly is something I've never seen on TV.
Yeah.
It's almost like a conversation I've heard before, but it's really like interestingly complicated by the fact that she is a butch lesbian. You know?
Yeah.
So it was like a really, another one of those kind of ambiguous but super interesting moments from this episode.
Well, I think it was like interesting because in this show they're able to maybe reset some of the things they felt like they didn't get to do in Girls. So when you're watching, you're like, oh, now this is like the stuff they didn't get to talk about that I feel like they wanted to towards the end of Girls, and then it like is coming out in this show. And you're like, oh yeah, now we're getting into it. Like the mature, because at the end of Girls, she's like started being more mature and adulthood. And this show, you're like, yeah, being an adult's real hard.
I do think Catherine McSorley Jodell might be Marnie in her 40s.
Yeah.
Oh God, that is oh my God, it
A
really
little bit
is.
controlling, a little bit like neurotic.
Self-righteous.
Totally.
Yeah.
Self-righteous.
At which point, then I really want to still see Catherine's mom now, because I remember the first time I saw Marnie's mom, I was like, oh, well, okay,
Yeah.
you're excused.
Yeah.
Some of the
Thank
best
you.
stuff on that show.
Wasn't her mom Tom Hanks' wife? What's her name? in real life?
Rita.
Yeah.
Rita.
Oh man.
Why can't I remember her last name?
Immediately wanted to say
Wilson?
Hayworth.
I know, me too.
Yes,
I was like,
yeah.
Hayworth. Yeah.
Reincarnated.
Rita Wilson. That's
Rita
right.
Wilson.
Rita Wilson.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That makes more sense than Rita Hayworth.
Yeah.
But moving on to a couple other things in the episode after we get out of the hospital, kind of the B story where we got to see all the other characters band together at the bar. Of course, Jandis leading the charge to get everyone to explore the town. What were some of your favorite moments from the bar scene?
I really enjoyed, that scene where he confronts, man, I'm blanking on all these characters, but
got
where he
you.
confronts him.
That would be George confronting Joe.
Yes. I was like, now that is a scene I have not seen on television. And I think it speaks to what's going on in society. Not to be like, activism, but I was like, we need guys who are going to do that.
For
to
sure.
other guys who are like, hey, you're being kind of a pee hole. I'm trying to think this is like...
Kaitlyn, this is a family show. God. Bring her on.
Yeah, bring her on. I'm going to start beeping myself. I'll just beep myself. He was just kind of a beep, pee hole.
Right.
It's good. No, it's true.
Thanks.
It is funny though, because as interesting as this scene was, there was something a little cringy about watching like two sort of straight white dudes hash it out. Like I sort of felt like it was complicated a bit by like both of them sort of pulled the like, but I dated a black girl card, which is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I have lots of black friends.
Exactly. So like I kind of like that component of it of like even through the self-righteousness, there's still that like kind of ugly underbelly that's always like Lena Dunham's characters, you know?
Yeah.
Where like even in their self-righteous moments, it's kind of like
And I like that. I think they are getting to get a little bit more zany with these characters than they ever got to go with girls.
Yeah.
So it's like they're still bringing those same undertones with them and those topics that they want to talk about. But I love that they're getting to do this, and I love that it was this kind of nerdy guy going up to the big dude being like, no, this is unacceptable. And he did it with such a good balance of still having it be funny, but also like you're just cheering him on, like, yeah, that is terrible. You can't say that. Like,
well, he said little chocolate, not Lil Chocolate, so it's fine.
Yeah,
right?
And he just likes giving nicknames.
Yeah, okay. George Bush. George Bush.
I was like, no.
Brad Gelman's so funny as George. He's one of those actors who just kind of is funny, he can just kind of give lines. And
He
you're
just
laughing.
looks funny even
Yeah.
before he opens his mouth.
Yeah.
You're like, you're funny.
Yeah.
I think everybody, though, in this cast is super funny.
Yeah.
Just looking at them. When you just look at them, you're like, this is a funny, I would go on this trip and I wouldn't talk to anyone. I would just watch them all go crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drive each other crazy.
Yeah, everyone is definitely bringing a lot. I'm waiting to see more from Catherine's sister. I know that
Carlene?
So I know she's like the meek, she's timid.
Yeah.
So I get that, but there's so much value in comedy and silence.
Yeah.
Too. And I feel like it's tough because you do have so many big characters kind of coming at you with this. But I'm kind of like, ooh, I don't know
What's her deal?
what her deal is, or even if they really knew what her deal was early on. Some characters kind of take a while to find their space.
Like maybe she was in a cult or something?
That'd be a twist.
Yes.
I don't know. She
I
gives
hear
off
you
that
though.
vibe.
She does kind of have that like
long hair.
I've been what's the word? Subordinated.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Well, you know what though? She's Catherine McSorley Jodell's sister, so that could just be.
maybe she was-
That's just growing up with her.
Yeah, that's
Maybe it
just
is.
yeah.
My question was, what's Jandis doing there?
Dating Miguel.
Yeah. So I think we don't really. I want to know more about like how that happened,
Right.
but yeah.
Because Miguel was supposed to go on the trip, and then they broke up, so she just came with him.
No, she's a new. So his ex is out of the picture.
Yeah.
Janice is the rebound.
Yeah. So he brought her on the vacation.
brought her on the trip.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the part where I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
This is insane.
It
I
is
want the ex to
insane.
show up.
Oh, I hope so.
I'm hoping she will.
Yeah.
I'd really like to meet her in a very awkward scene.
Yes.
With her and Juliette Lewis.
Juliette Lewis is so funny in this, and it's like her.
Yes. Yeah.
That's just she was like near the trailer, and I was like listening to her talk about, what was she talking about? Something about her costume. She's like, I think she was like making all these choices, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's what a real actress does. They're like, this is what I feel like my character would wear and do in this moment, and so I need to wear this outfit. And then the costume lady was like, yeah, I agree.
Oh my God. I love
I was
it.
like, years and years of acting gives you permission to do that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I always like stories like that behind the scenes of like actors and like whether it's makeup artists or costume designers kind of like working together. I always love that Carol Burnett, her costume designer, was like so integral in so many of her sketches.
Yeah.
Because she would be like, oh, here's, something that I'm thinking. And he would just kind of like work with her. So I love that, Juliette Lewis just kind of working through her character.
Working through her character and her character's costume.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I was like, should I say something about my nose ring? Like, it feels really big. No, you're not there. I'm like, be quiet, Kaitlyn. Just say your lines. Try not to do anything weird.
Well, you can, we encourage you to be weird here.
Oh, great,
So,
great.
It's a great safe place.
by all means, safe place. Safe place.
Well, I'll just start unbeeping myself.
Yes, please do. And really quickly, I do want to let you guys and our viewers know, just really quickly, our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows. So from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there is no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. So we're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. So if you're worried about pesky notifications too, don't be worried, because they're optional, so they're not going to blow you up with it. But so hit that subscribe button now for this channel, and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll make sure to thank you on air in the next show. But for now, thank you so much for being some of the best fans, and for helping us to be the ESPN of TV talk.
Very well said.
So, thank you.
That was very impressive. Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I will say, guys, I'm a producer here at the network as well, and at first I was wary to subscribe because, like, with the whole notifications thing,
Yeah.
but I turned them off, and what happens is YouTube just caters content for me. So, like, by subscribing to this channel, now I'm getting other suggestions of shows covering this show and other shows, and it's been great. So hit that subscribe button, guys.
Yeah, it's awesome, because the same is like when you're watching something at home, and like
Yeah.
streaming channels now are just like, oh, hey, you have a match with this show. And then I'm like,
Exactly.
do I? Oh my God, I do. I'm in love with it now.
Yes.
I'm going to watch it forever.
I gotta start going on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
The YouTube. You can use the YouTube,
Yeah,
Kaitlyn.
you can watch anything on YouTube. I'm just learning that. I YouTube everything now.
Nice.
Fixing my hair blow dryers from YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't think we have a show for that, but maybe
Not yet.
someday.
No.
Someday.
Yeah.
Just going on YouTube.
So let's branch off from the bar into the little mini adventure of Miguel and Jandis.
Yeah.
Here's a question. If Marnie is Catherine, do we think Jessa is Jandis?
Yes.
I could totally see that.
Yeah.
I think she's the girl that would be come.
Yes.
She's a Reiki healer.
Yeah.
She loves public sex.
Yeah. It feels like she probably lives in a crystal.
Yeah.
She
has
just
a lot of
she just flies out of it like a butterfly every
Yes.
once in a while. Some of the specifics that I wrote down for Jandis in this episode that just absolutely killed me. They did such a great job of building her character.
Yeah.
She plays rugby in a semi-pro league. She gets kicked out of ERs because she tries to heal.
Oh yeah.
She carries Oxycontin in a Crown Royal bag.
Yeah.
And she's banned from Ralph's for selling her own yogurt.
Yes.
Yeah. That
If
was,
you don't know who that person is just from those facts,
I don't know.
there's no hope for
Then
you.
you're not living.
It's an example of the strength of this show, which is just like, it's those small moments. Like all the pelvic floor talk in episode 1. There was a moment when they're talking about unfurling a Casper mattress. It's just like the specificity of language that I really love in Lena Dunham and Jenny Connor's work.
Yeah.
Because those are the details that really do sort of elevate a comedy show. Because if you want to, when it's such a competitive environment, to me, that's like their stamp as writers is like, those like selling your own yogurt in a Ralph's.
Oh, that
you
was
know?
so
Yeah.
funny.
So specific.
So
Yeah.
specific, so funny.
Yeah.
And then you can see that character. You could cut to that character doing that, and you can see it so clearly.
Yes.
Exactly.
She has like jars in aisle 3, just
Yeah.
trying to like sell people yogurt while they're buying their groceries.
And I love that so often people are like, you know, like kind of more in depth, like longer dramas or things that have like really integral like storylines going on. They're always like, oh yeah, I have to watch it twice. And I'm like, I have to watch comedies twice.
Yeah.
The good ones, because you always miss certain lines like that. You know, like the second time around, you're like, oh my God, how did I miss that? And it's just, like you said, I think Lena Dunham and Jenny Connor are both just brilliant at that.
Definitely.
And I'm happy it's kind of it's translating into this now too.
Yeah. It's so specific. It's like
Yeah.
it's niche.
Yeah.
You have to really know what they're talking about. But I think that's what made Girls successful.
Right.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, this is for a specific demographic of people who are gonna get this, and it just speaks to them.
Yeah. No, totally.
And that's me.
So the I think one of the standouts from this scene though too in the antique shop was the not the owner, because apparently Jeff normally does this.
Yeah.
Or was that his name?
I
Jeff
think so.
Jeans? Yes.
Something,
Yeah.
The clerk.
The clerk, yeah, who his dryness and the straight man that he played to them was just
He was great.
I think he stole some of it.
Yeah.
Like I was just so in love with him.
Yeah. they don't ever waste the chance to bring a new character on screen, as they did with your character.
Yeah.
They gave you, it's co-stars rarely, if you guys are actors, you know, normally a co-star is just like, do you want a straw?
Yeah.
So it's nice that they even give these bit parts specificity. Like they're just saying,
I was happy that my face got screen time because I was like, oh, it's just gonna be the back of my head and then me talking to Jennifer Garner the whole time. I honestly thought I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't? Yeah, we want to see Jennifer Garner.
Right.
But I was like, oh, I'm in it. Oh, there's my face. Oh my God, look how tall I look. Which, by the way, you were saying that. I was like, yeah, they had to lower the bed so that I would look taller. Because they were thinking about putting me on an apple box, but they're like, no, it's going to look weird. The proportion won't look right. We're just going to lower the bed.
There you go.
Yeah, for all my scenes.
The magic of cinema.
Yes. Behind the scenes.
Real behind the scenes things.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I think they do that for tall people too. Like I know Conan and like all the late night hosts, they like make their desks really small to make them look big. And Conan's a giant, so you know you're just like Conan.
They make his desk bigger?
Smaller.
Oh, smaller.
They're like really short desks. So
Oh, so he looks taller.
yeah.
Whoa.
That's what they were like. This she's just like Conan.
I've seen him and he's tall. He's a tall guy.
Yeah.
He's probably taller than you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Conan's a big boy.
Yeah.
So I know with this episode too, they did such a good job of tying in some more of those little nuggets for I think things in the future for the relationships. So Nina Joy, I know we kind of touched on that we're excited to see kind of where that's
Yeah.
what really went down there.
Yeah.
But I think they opened a lot of doors in this episode too, just
Yeah.
between their past relationships and what's happening now too.
Yeah. I'm also curious. Yeah, I'm going to keep watching it just to find out what happened. That was such an intense moment in that first episode where she hugged her.
Yeah.
It spooked me.
And
Because I feel like I've been in a situation like that.
for sure, with those types of people.
Yeah.
I think the Saul stuff too I'm interested in. We had that little moment where it sounds like there might be like a closeted teenage lesbian girl thing blossoming, which will be super interesting.
Yeah.
Especially given their parents. I think like I can't help but want to see these kids more because what would it like to be the children of these awful parents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I hope we see more of Saul. Definitely.
Agreed. Yeah. That scene was just so like pleasant and like great just because it was just such an awkward like we're teenagers. We're just gonna talk to each other. I'm not gay, by the way.
Yeah.
Like it was just such a nice like it was a nice shift. I thought it was a good spot for it in the episode too.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Nice little breath of fresh air.
Yeah, exactly.
They always have like scenes like that where it's very just someone saying something very bluntly.
Exactly.
I don't like you.
Yeah.
You're like, cool.
Well, I know we also want to start doing, so we're going to be starting to do an MVP of the episode. So for acting MVP, we're going to be giving out a very prestigious award with our mouths right now and words. So.
I have a good mouth award. It's funny, I thought all the performances were great, but I'm going to go ahead and say Brett Gelman as George this episode. To channel, like, he's still a goofy, nice guy who's just so angry.
Yeah.
That was a really uncomfortable and, like, I think really viscerally played moment.
Yeah.
So, Brett Gelman, I got to shout you out during your rage-induced microaggression lecture.
Yeah.
That was my moment. Yeah.
He was really
Well said.
good in this episode. And he usually plays kind of like sleaze bags, I feel like. You know? Like kind of
does.
misogynist, sleazy guys. But in this, he's more, I feel,
Woke.
woke, a little kinder,
Yeah.
a little more affable.
Yeah.
Less of a sleaze bag. Which you're just like, yeah, that's the same with David Tennant. He usually
Yeah.
plays creeps.
Yeah, or just like very intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's nice to see the difference.
Evil.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of Barty Crouch Jr. now.
I also feel like he's got to be so happy that you just described him as woke. I
Yes.
feel like that's probably not a description he
Yeah.
gets all the time, but I,
got you.
agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I would agree, yeah.
Did you have an MVP for this episode?
I am going to say that my MVP is probably still Jennifer Garner.
Fair.
I just love her.
Yeah.
I just like watching her face on. I could watch that show on mute. I
She's
watch anything
great.
she's in on
She's
on
really
mute.
good in this
Yeah.
show.
She's really good in this show, and she on set. I was like, whoa, this is how you work. How are you doing it? You're
Yeah.
amazing. What a star.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, yeah, she needs that to hear that from me.
Yes, obvious. She's been waiting for this moment.
You're welcome,
Not
Jen.
at all.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think just like tension was just like radiating off of her,
Yeah.
especially in this, because in this episode, but all the way through. So
In real
far.
life, she's just so just goofy and silly and relaxed, but then she turns it on, and you're like, whoa,
That's great.
yeah, and super funny. Like I was like shining that light, and they didn't have it in the show, but she goes like this. And I was like, that wasn't written in the script, and she just did that. I don't know. It's just little things like that where you're thinking, oh, she's a real actress who's in her character and like doing.
I
weird-
really like that. Actually,
Yeah, she was
That's
like,
a great moment.
yeah, covering the eyes of her kid.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, she's making choices.
Well, I agree with both of you, but I'm saying Juliette Lewis.
She was great.
I think just for that crazy cackle over the fire at the end alone, that's enough.
Quite an ending.
That it's like it turned into a horror movie at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah, I just think she was so delightful in this. I loved her one-on-one when she was giving the oxy to him, and just like how serious she got. And she's like, "That's so smart," and she takes you on a journey with her, and I love her.
That's a good way to put it. I love it.
Going with Juliette Lewis on this one.
Yeah.
And just a quick, got a little news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So, anyone familiar with Lena Dunham and Jenny Connor know, they had their production team together. They were doing Lenny Letter, which is basically a platform for writers to submit essays. So, I mean, this was unknown writers, everything up to, Lena Dunham actually writing for them, or Jennifer Lawrence wrote a few. Lupita Nyong'o had written some. But after 3 years, they are no longer doing Lenny Letter. So they wrote in a statement to their fans, in the 3 years since we began, the internet has opened up for underrepresented writers in ways we couldn't have predicted or believed from our 2015 bunker. It was an honor to be a part of that brigade, and we can't wait to see how those that forged the path keep holding space after Lenny is gone. So, kind of a bummer to see something like that. Anything where it gives writers another opportunity to get their work out there, whether you're Jennifer Lawrence or Amy Maestri.
Absolutely.
No, I have
like,
no.
okay,
They didn't.
cool.
They didn't put me on. No.
And at this point, it's never gonna happen anymore.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's over.
It's gone.
You guys
no
start
Lenny
your-
Letter for Amy.
But it's too bad to see something like that go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does seem like a couple of their they've been working together for a very long time.
Yeah.
So
It is interesting though. You'd almost wonder if they could hand it off, but maybe they really wanted it to be their baby, and
Yeah.
that's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
But
Maybe they're just like, there's so much online content now.
that's true.
understandable. There
very
is a
competitive.
lot.
Yes.
Most of it's garbage though, so we need the good ones to
Yeah.
stick around.
True.
We
Yeah.
do. We definitely
So
do.
what about predictions? You guys got any predictions? What's happening next? What's coming?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I love watching guests hear our drops.
Why is that door locking?
I think for me, I am really interested in the kids. I feel like, I don't know how much we're going to get of Orvis, but that Saul moment I found particularly interesting. And in general, I'm excited for the show to lean into sort of the deeper moments that we touched on this episode. And I think those are mostly going to be backloaded, which is totally fine because a lot of good TV does that. But yeah, I think to me, the strongest component of this show right now is the performances. So I'm really just enjoying watching these actors work. And you can watch them have fun. That's one thing I really like, is when you can watch actors enjoying their work.
Yeah, they
So-
were I feel like that's a very fun set to be on. I mean, I was there and it was really fun.
That's great.
You're doing push-up challenges in between scenes, and I'm like, "Ugh, what a great day at work. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. I really need to find out what happened with Nina Joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also like any shows that are about sisters.
Yeah.
I have a sister.
I think that's what I'm very intrigued to see where that relationship goes and to hear more from the sister,
Yeah.
whether it's even just scenes through silence of seeing how she reacts to things, or I feel like she's the one that's kind of been left in the shadows
Yeah.
right now for a little bit.
And quick cross promo, Ione Skye, who plays Carlene, was here last week on our sister network Popcorn Talk on Ileana Douglas's interview show, I Blame Dennis Hopper. So it was a really, really wonderful interview, and they did talk some camping. So check that out.
I gotta watch that.
It's great. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm still very excited for the rest of this
Me
season.
too.
Me too.
Excited for some crazy throwdowns, I feel like. And there's a lot of different ones that I think are
know.
coming at us now.
Yes.
There's
So-
gonna be a fist fight for sure.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, hell yeah.
Probably like more than one.
Yeah. All right. Well, in the meantime, where can we find you guys online?
Amy, thanks for including me. This was so fun. And Caitlin, very nice to meet you.
Guys, I'm happy to be here.
Yes, guys, my name is Jeff. If you want to find me online, you can do that at Jeffrey C. Graham. On Wednesdays at 5 p.m., I host a show called TV Pilot Reviews, where we review a new pilot every week. Last week, we reviewed CW's brand new high school drama, All-American, which is pretty good. So check out our coverage for that, and we'll have a new one this Wednesday.
Cool. Well, I'm Kaitlyn. I have an Instagram. That's at, what is it? Oh my God. It's at TotallyMoto. You can follow me if you want to see a crazy Asian just trying to survive.
But no pictures from the set of camping.
But none of those.
And that's
sadly.
also, my Instagram's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a crazy
Yeah.
Asian trying to survive.
Oh,
so
great.
It's
Exactly,
not
yeah.
photos of me, it's just
No, it's
irrelevant,
photos of
but-
me behind
Exactly.
you.
Yes.
Being crazy.
That makes 3 of us, and then there's photos of me with Jeff behind me and
Yeah.
then Caitlin behind him.
We're weird on Instagram, guys.
We're really
It's,
weird.
You know, deal with it. But you can find me at Amy Maestri. Looking forward to the rest of the season. Thank you, Caitlin, for coming by and talking with us.
Great.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.